asked him, what do you think we should do about evil? And Obama gave an interesting, true, measured response. He said we should be humble about it. He was saying, because evil is everywhere, and we're responsible for some evil ourselves. What did McCain say? Defeat it. Yeah, we'll defeat evil. Will that be by the end of your first term, Senator? Or will it take 2 terms to defeat evil? So, you know, we're talking about very simplistic people who believe, and there's no wonder that that crowd in the Saddle Ranch, the church, the place, that they responded to this answer, defeat evil. Because in their worldview, religious people, evil is, it's not an abstract thing, it's the devil. It's the dude in the red suit with the pitchfork in your ass. That's evil, and you defeat him as Jesus will, and that's how you solve problems. So, you know, it's very hard to get anything done rationally in America when so many people think that way.
It's very Manichean. I mean, it's very, you know, Republicans have really reduced it to a very black and white issue for themselves, ironically. And it'll be interesting to see whether people want more from what they have to offer. You know, it'll be interesting to see if they make more demands on the Republican Party than just this kind of these simplistic platitudes.
Sir, then the gentleman and the gentleman.
Michael Posner again from the Golden Mail. You alluded to Mel Gibson's movie as a sort of anti-religious movie. The other one that comes to mind is Ben Stein's Expelled. And I wonder if you had a chance to see that, which is a kind of pro-intelligent design movie.
Right. I have not. I know the movie you're speaking of. I have not seen it. Intelligent design, of course, is a fancy way of saying creationism. So let's not let them get away with that. And creationism, of course, is ridiculous. And Palin has come down on the side of the Bush theory with intelligent design, which is that we should teach it alongside of evolution, which is an interesting approach to teach stupidity alongside of knowledge.
Right, it's like teaching magic and chemistry together, you know what I mean? It's like,
it is. Right. It's like teaching, you know, thunder is hot air pressure meeting cold air pressure, and it's also God bowling. So that's where we are in America, I'm so proud to say.
This is also 80 years after the Scopes trial, which is one of the, again, a very scary thought that 80 years ago we kind of resolved this question, and it's actually deeper ingrained in the American culture now. It's being taught in more schools now. There's more school systems that are trying to get it taught. It's kind of a scary trend. And you would think it would have been done a long time ago.
Sir?
Yeah, I'm just curious about something. At last year's Toronto Festival, you showed some clips and kind of extended trailer. And I'm just wondering, have you done sort of, I don't know what you would call them, focus group screenings or screenings for people, and what have you done with the feedback you've gotten? Has it been incorporated into the film, do you feel, or did you just kind of get a sense of the pulse of the audience?
You know, we're both from comedy backgrounds, obviously, and, you know, we needed to expose this to an audience to get a sense of how it played, and we did do a couple of early screenings, and they were incredibly helpful, actually, in terms of, you know, in terms of the pace, in terms of the tone, in terms of the balance. This is very hard. We have 400 hours of footage. We have 14 hours of great cut footage. So to craft and structure that story, you know, it took a lot of experimentation. It took a lot of time. It's not like you have a script to go by. We were kind of, you know, we had these outlines, but we had a lot of stuff that we kind of made up on the spot, and we went with the reality of what was going on. And then when we came back to editing, we had to start to craft that. And that took a while, and you were so deeply immersed in it that it's good to get some outside perspective, and it wound up being extremely helpful for us.
We'll take a couple more questions, sir.
Larry, it's about the style of film, too. It's got kind of the same guerrilla-style interviews as Borat did. Going in, did you anticipate that it would be like that? How many of your interviews were kind of impromptu, and how many of them were actually, you know, scheduled in advance?
Well, you know,
I'm thinking of the Jesus interview where the publicist comes in.
Yes. I think, you know, what would happen is we would kind of, you know, we did use a kind of Borat-like approach, which is we try to kind of slip in and start filming before anybody we have the permission, so we know we're allowed in. We know we're not doing anything illegal, despite people's possible distress about it. So we know we're okay with that, and we just go in and start shooting, and then we'll probably bring Bill in at that point and sort of insert him into the situation. And it's a way to sort of keep a very low profile in these kind of high-tension situations. So we're able to go in, we're shooting, there's no action, there's no cuts, there's no last looks, there's none of the traditional things that go on before a scene starts. There's no before or after. You know, the scene is just happening all the time. And so that allows us to do the organized thing, the planned thing, but also to stay very loose and flexible and adaptable. So if something's going on over there, we can move there very quickly. Very small, very flexible, able to move very quickly from one place to another. So we're able to get the stuff that we planned on, as well as whatever else was going on, and take advantage of being in Rome and being in Jerusalem and being at Holy Land, for instance. You know, we were asked to leave from almost every place we went to. You know, so we actually had a harder time at Holy Land than we probably did in Jerusalem.
Lunch? No, not yet. I just a serious question actually. Do you have any concern for your personal safety? Do you have any concerns about that when this film comes out? You're going after the big three. Do you have any?
Well, I think if we got murdered, it would make a great DVD extra. So you know, I think that's.
I have one more question. Was it easy for you to drag your family into the film? Because your mother looks formidable. No one would pass her around and survive to tell the tale.
Right. No, you know, she really didn't want to do it. I don't know a lot of 88-year-old ladies who want to be on camera. My mother never liked cameras. But she did it for me. I mean, she knew how important this was to me. And I wish she had lived to see the movie because it would have been so much fun for her because I could just tell you that all her friends would be calling up and saying, Julie, you're a movie star. You know, it would have been such a kick for a widow who was always complaining that there was no excitement in her life. This would have been exciting. So that's one of my biggest regrets.
And she's so sweet and so genuine and so funny. And she's such an asset to the movie. You know, she was great. I mean,
She's also a very strong woman.
Yes, she is. I mean, really. I mean, and very funny. Had great Jack Benny timing.
Yeah, she was really cool.
On that note,
Lunch?
yes.
All
On
right.
that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.